So after we click this link, we need another page. So where is this information going to go? This is going to be the page where we add a whole lot more functionality as far as adding different kinds of activities and logging things on the account. So let's add a new page. Let's call it View Account. I'm going to clone dashboards again, just select to move the sidebar. It saves me a step. It also keeps the dashboard and this bar in the same exact place. So I'm going to drag this over here, and I want this to actually. So let's click on this page. I just double click on the page itself, and I can dictate the type of content. So this is going to be a type of content called account. What that means is whatever account I send to this page, it will automatically grab the data from that account and display it here. So if I think about this account, I have the current page accounts, company name. That's what I want to put right here. So it will display that right here, similar to how we did in the repeating group. I also have all those other boxes from it, so I can grab all that other data and I can display it here. What I'm going to do right now is just go ahead and add a couple more. You can go in and add all these separately yourself too. I just don't want to waste a lot of time on the video adding in zip code and state and all these other things. So I'm going to add the city, and I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add the state. Great. And then that basically just tells me the data for this quick off the top. What else do I want to do on this page? I want to have my contacts. So I want to have contacts on this page. So I'm just going to put these in. Contacts. Right here. This is just a placeholder for me. Oop, wow, that's bad. Cool. So just contacts, and then I'm going to do another one that is going to be activities. And that's what we're going to start building out now, logging activities, adding contacts, and then logging activities. So we don't have any contacts yet. We don't even have contacts or activities in as types of things that we can enter in. We literally just have the words contacts and activities. So to do that, we're going to have to actually create contact. So I'm putting this here simply because I think it's easier. Like if you're by a contact, you can click create contact. Create contact. And this button needs a place to send us, and this will send us to the contact page, which we will again clone from dashboards. And this is similar to the last one where we're just going to grab a series of fields. So contact first name, copy paste, contact last name, email, phone number. Perfect. And on this page, I want to dictate that this is also going to be an account. Oops. Accidentally changed the mobile version. We don't want to do that. I also want to say this page is also an account because I want to send the account data from the last page over here when I click that link, which we will do in just a second. We're just building some additional functionality while we're kind of building, then we're going to go back and test some. So first name, last name, phone number, email. Great. Now we will have this and then I will show you how we can actually make all this work here in just a second. So when I save contact, I want to actually have it be a contact. So I want to create a new thing, a totally new thing, which will be a contact. And I need to create a new field. I need the first name, last name, phone number, address. Sweet. Great. And those will come obviously from these boxes. So we have access to all of this data. Great. So when we save this contact, we're going to create all that data, and then we are going to go back to the page, view account, and we will send current page account information back. So when we leave this page, we send the information of this is the account that this person goes to, and we send it back. But we also want to make sure we assign this person to an account, right? So that's why we have the account sent here in the first place, right? So account assignment, and this account assignment is actually going to be the current page's account, because the current page has an account sent to it, right? So that everything you create in here is a unique ID. What that means is that it has something unique to it that nothing else in it can have. So you can use that to connect things. So I would say this account is connected to this this person by the unique ID. Then if I save it, it will send me back to the page. It will create this person, and it will log in the system. We have a contact, and the contact has this field filled out with the same unique ID as that account has. So that's how I'm going to connect them in the future. But if I go back to accounts, now I can dictate what this button does. So I have it going to the view account. Okay, data I'm going to send is the current sales account. Great, so I push this button, it takes us to view account. It tells this page that this is the account you're going to look at to pull this data off. All right, then I need to have a repeating group of the contacts in this account. So this will be contact. And to do that, I need to do a search for the contacts that have the account assignment equal to current page accounts unique ID. So that will say is the account assignment has a value, right? We already told that value to be this account's unique ID. So only contacts we create that we give that ID should show up in this list for this account, and that's how we're going to keep all of our contacts separated. And we create contact that takes us to the create contact page. And we send over the current page account there as well. What does this say we're missing? I need to add Google, whatever. So let's play with it. Let's click preview. Remember, we don't have any accounts in yet. Great. So that's why it's coming up like this. But if I click accounts, I can click on any one of these. So I'll click on test one. Great. Test one pulls up the random data I kind of put in there. And we're going to contact for test one. Mr. Fildor. I will save that. Now it'll go back to that account page. Why didn't Phil show up? Let's find out. Let's go into our data. Types. Well, first off, this search for contacts. Account assignment equal current page's ID. Make sure we did that filter right. Contact, this. I'm creating a contact. Current pages contact, that's unique ID. So it should be right. Let's see how the data was saved. So we go to app data. Always good to check all contacts. Count assignments there. Fill it fake door. Phone number. Blah blah blah. Still didn't show up there. Oh, I know what I did. View account. I didn't tell it to show any information. So if I put this here, I need to actually tell it to do something in this box. All I did was dictate, this is what's going to show up inside of this kind of grouping of things, right? So current sales contacts, first name. And then I'll put a space, and then current sales contacts, last name. And then maybe I want to even just right in here, I'm just going to start just, here's their email address. I could make these separate entries. I can put them all into one list. Really depends on how you want to do it. I'm just doing them all as one right now because I want to make sure all that data shows up easily. Well, quickly. There we go. Now let's do that. So what's nice too is Bubble is if you do make changes, you can go back and then it'll just have you reload the page. So this is my testing page. Just click back here. I'll reload it real quick. It should. There we go. We have fill it, fake doors. I don't think that's a real domain, but we will see. Great. So we have fill. Now what can we do with fill? Now that we have fill, let's shorten this up just a little bit since our text is small. I'm going to add some buttons here. I'm going to create activities with fill. So different things we could do here, right? So I could say an automated button here for fill that would be like left voicemail or something. But what if I want to have an activity that I'm not doing that with? So let's make a quick activity because I want to have quick activities in here. I'm going to change this to 3 rows just because I have a little bit more space. You can use whatever kind of size you want there. I'm going to do 3 right now just because I'm going to use big buttons. And, you know, maybe change them. So for voicemail, I'm just going to do VM. These are just quick buttons that people can push. It just says, you know, left to voicemail. Maybe sent an email. There. So you know what? Let's just do voicemail. Because email, we're going to want to log the info from the email. So you can quickly log a voicemail, right? So let me click that. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use the data there to create a quick activity. And you could use this depending on how granular you want to get with all your activities. So I'm going to create data, create a new thing. I'm going to create a activity. And then I want to say the contact. This is going to be on. I want to do the account. This is going to be on. I want to do the activity type. Create that as a new field. And actually, before I do that, I can go back into my data here too. I can create an option set for this. So activity type, create. This will help me out a little bit later too. So my option set could be email, call, voicemail, meeting. And then this will just log those different things. Now when I go back into this, I'm going to use that option set here. So I can create activity type, and I'll use activity type as there. The activity type is going to be voicemail. The account is going to be current pages accounts unique ID. Contact is going to be current sales contacts unique ID, because these are the identifiers we're going to use to find them later. Great. Now, I need a way to view that this happened. So if I click that button, I want it to show me down here that we did this. Type of content is going to be a activity. Data source will be do a search for activities. The restriction we want to make is account must equal current page accounts unique ID. That will pull up every activity attributed to this individual account. Where do you line up? I'll line these two up there. Looks better. Better. Great. So I will do there, and I will have this be current sales activity type. It's display. Display just means like the name of it. And then I will do this one will be who it was with. And to get to that, it's a little bit different, right? So current sales activities contact is only going to give me that field that I filled out. So what I need to do is to do a search. So I need to do a search. Well, first let me show you what I'm talking about. That'll help you to learn. So contact. Let's not do a search. Let's do. Gotta get out of there. Come on. There you go. So current sales activity, right? So if I do current sales activities contact, let's take a look at what happens. Pages load a whole lot slower when you're building than when they're live. Counts. Test one. Left a voicemail for Phil. As you can see here, I left a voicemail, and then we see this number. We don't see who I left it for. Ideally, we're also going to put a date here so I can see when the last date I contacted this person is. So let's add that date too, because it bugs me that it's not there. Dropped you outside the box. Get you inside the box. Perfect. Let's move you back to where you belong. And then you will be current sales activity. We'll just do creation date. There we go. Perfect. So this is current sales activities contact. We don't want that. We want to do a search for contact. That unique ID equals current sales activities contact. All right, and we want to use, this is basically going to pull the list. The list should have one item because it's a unique ID. So we'll just grab the first item's first name, and then we would have to repeat that again if we wanted to grab last name or anything else, or like their email address. We just have to go through this little search process to grab each part. So now let's click preview, let's click through it again, and let's see how Phil's voicemail is displaying. So click on test one. Great. So I have a voicemail with Phil on this date. I could just jam a whole bunch of them in there. Perfect. We know it works. So we can create a whole bunch of these, right? We can make a phone call, we can do that. But what if I want to add in like a detailed activity? So that's a quick activity. I just log the voicemail. What if I want to create an activity that has a bit more to it? So I could have notes that I'm logging, so I know what I talked to Phil about last time. Well, to do that, we need to create another page. So let's do